Today, we have something pretty cool. We have the SMSL Raw MDA1. That's right, the SMSL Raw MDA1 DAC amp combo. Let's sit back and talk about it. Welcome back to the Thrift Shop. Glad you plan to stop by. I hope you're enjoying the cold weather because that's when I made this video. And when it gets cold, I listen to more and more music, whether it be at my desk or in my main system. So it's been a long time since I posted a video, and I'm sorry, I've been busy, new job, all that kind of stuff, but I am back and we are about to have a good time because my good friends over at A-Post decided to send out the SMSL Raw MDA DAC and DAC amp headphone combo, and all thoughts and opinions are mine. If you are going to buy it, just head over there. I will put a link. It is an affiliate link, costs you nothing, and just helps me out, keep this channel growing. So why would you want to buy the SMSL Raw MD1? I'm just going to call it Raw, all right? Forget the alphabet soup that's going on here. So let's say you're out, you're looking for a headphone amp, you're looking for a DAC, you're not sure, you could buy individually, a DAC and an amp for, 100, 150, and all of a sudden put them together and you have $300. This unit comes in at $279, and it's packed full of goodness for the amount of money that you are getting. So I gotta say, first and foremost, this thing has a lot of connectivity. So if you're a person who has a ton of things that you want to connect into one digital to analog converter, then this might be the unit for you. You have one USB input, USB-C, and we will do a little device tour, so don't be worried. I'm, during my talking time here. You get two optical ends, two coaxial ends, you get Bluetooth. The Bluetooth is just not any Bluetooth because you're getting 5.1 Bluetooth, SBC, AAC, you're getting LDAC, you're getting aptX HD adaptive. So you're getting all the latest and greatest stuff here. And you have headphone out and you have line out. You can have fixed output or you can have variable line output. So you can use this as a preamp if you want, or you can use it as a standard DAC with a fixed output to, let's say, headphone amplifiers like I have here. So the world's your oyster with what you want to do with this. You have any other, whatever you want to do. As far as sampling rate, bit depth, that kind of stuff, this thing can run PCM 44.1 to 768 kilohertz, 32-bit DSD to, I'm not even sure what numbers that means. I mean, but it's like 718 or something like that. The coax and the optical, you are going to be somewhat limited. So you would obviously want to go USB if that is your route and you're upsampling and you're doing all that kind of stuff. That's what you're going to want. As far as headphone out, uniquely, you're getting about, at 32 ohms, about 1.7 watts. And you do have a 1/4 inch or 6.5 millimeter input, and you get a 4.4. And trying to see here, so spitting out the specs, you're getting dynamic range of 132 dB, signal to noise ratio 132 dB. With these things, whether it be topping SMSL, you're getting, a 0.000, you're getting enough zeros that this thing is squeaky clean, nothing you need to worry about. Reading somewhere, this has like the latest and greatest Exmos 316. So that's going to be your USB conversion. So you're getting latest and greatest, which sounds good. So $279, you're getting a wonderful headphone amp DAC combo. Then we got to talk about some of the, my listening experiences using this. So has been somewhat frustrating. So we're going to give you a unit. So as far as what I've been listening to on this unit, just so you can put it for reference for your components, I have the good old HD6XX, which, believe it or not, is a recent addition to my headphone collection. And I'll be doing my own video on that. And I have my ZMF Verites here, beautiful headphones, and my personal favorites. So that's what I've been using. I like to use headphones that test the amplifiers, so I don't, sometimes I will use a low impedance headphone, being something around 8 ohms impedance. In the case, you know, you have higher impedance HD6XX and the ZMF Verite or 300 ohm, 97 dB sensitivity. So not the hardest thing to drive, but the high impedance can somewhat cause strain on some of these kind of headphone amplifiers that are more chip based. So, you know, that's always the test that I want to do, see if it's screeching, see if it's, you know, doing anything weird that you may find. So if someone's just testing with 32 ohm headphones, you got to question, you know, are you really testing it out? Even though you know, that may be what you're using, you need to know if the headphone amp is being strained. So little device tour just to show you what this thing looks like. So it's pretty nice. So you can see here, you do get your nice little dial. And as you see here, it takes forever to go through the volume. And I think you can adjust that. That's one thing maybe I didn't adjust. You can see here I have it on USB right now. If I can keep it in and out of the lights, and headphone output right now. So you can go in, kind of see the output here, and you can adjust it, and you have all line out, which in my brain was, I get headphone amplifier, I have line out, which would be variable. I can go back and forth, and that's just not the case. So, and you can do everything in here. Hopefully you can see all that. You've got PCM filter, HPA gain, you got sound color, pre-mode, inputs, you name it. You got FN key, DPLL, USB mode, UAI style, dimmer. You can change the brightness. You can reset this unit. So you do a long hold and it'll get you back to where you want to be. So yeah, my experience was that basically I started off running fixed output to the X-Duo TA66 here in my Darkvoice. So this will be the next review that I do. I've had this for way too long. Darkvoice competitor, and I want to run through his paces before I talk about it. Anyways, been running these back and forth off of this unit, and it sounded great. It's always good to run something more clinical through a tube amp than to run something tubey going into a tube amp. Too much tubey. Does that make sense? Anyways, so yeah, it's a perfect match for if you're going to be running a tube amp, an OTL like a TA66 or the Darkvoice, the Legend tube amp. Sounded great. Didn't notice any problems. Obviously, I can notice some difference between headphones, the 6XX not being as crisp, having more of that airy detail on the top end, where the Verite gives you in spades too much top end in some cases, but not with the tube amps and not with this combination. It was a chef's kiss sound combination. I've been on a Tool kick lately, so I've just been going around and around with Tool's 1,000 Days or 10,000 Days album, and the actual song 10,000 Days. Just the amount of clarity in some of these tracks that you can pull out with a DAC like this, and through these, you just want to sit back and like, I don't want to do a review. I don't want to talk on camera here and talk about the unit because it sounds so darn good. Now, my problem is I have it on all out. I plugged my headphone in and I got nothing out of there. Okay. And my dumbass decides to switch it just to headphone, and because you want to run this at basically at its highest output if you're running variable to get full signal strength out to your headphone amplifier, basically I blasted my ears with full power out of this unit. So it's the only problem I have. Some units will know if you're on headphone amplifier, it'll switch back. And in this case, it didn't. It doesn't remember where you were last if you were just doing headphone out versus that. So you got to be careful, okay? Note with this unit, if you're switching, just try to turn everything down as far as you can or to a really low level, and then do your switching. And don't connect into this thing if you're running a line out to something else, because it's kind of weird how it operates. It's not a problem You just need to know how it operates, and once you understand that, you're fine. But yeah, just don't be a dumbass like me. Anyways, using the headphone amplifier on the raw, SMSL raw, I found it with the Verite to be way too thin, way too analytical. I mean, it sounds fine, it sounds good. I just don't prefer analytical. So this is my preference. You may just absolutely love that, and that's what you want. So the Verite with that. Now, I was using almost all of the headphone amplifier in this unit. I was at like -15 to put it in perspective. So I was using all of that. Well, I don't know what the rating is at 300 watts or 300 ohms. It doesn't say, but basically I was using all of the power of this headphone amplifier to drive basically the ZMF Verites, but it ran fine. It was not cutting out, it wasn't screeching, it wasn't getting super thin. It was thin already just due to the load impedance and the sound frequency response of these headphones, but nothing to do with this unit. Connecting in the 6XX, which, you know, quite honestly, a bazillion people have these. It's probably common. You understand if you have these, they are a little bit laid back. They don't have the highest amount of treble. You plug it in here, kind of that analytical cleanliness of this unit goes away. These are an intimate headphone, so it works out great. So, you know, you can spend a ton of money. You can go spend $300+ on the Darkvoice and spend, I don't even know, $220 on the TA66. You can spend $1,000 or $2,000 on a IFI Pro Ican. You can have another R2R Denefrips DAC down here. You could spend as much money as you want. I don't think spending as much money will make you happy. This little unit here will do everything that you need for $279, plus you have all the connectivity. You want to run Bluetooth, fine. You've got 2 optical units, maybe you have CD players, maybe you have whatever. I mean, basically, you could basically run 4 CD players into this if you wanted to, through the optical or coax in. Or maybe you're running some kind of D2D system and you want to run optical out because that sounds better to you. Who knows? Plus, you can connect to your computer via USB-C, and you don't need some fancy audiophile, USB cable. So it is pretty cool. For $279, what you're getting, I think, is pretty amazing. Now, with that said, typically I would bring a DAC down into my 2-channel system and give you the kind of how I feel, because I think that's where things really come alive. For this unit, I'm not going to do that. I know just through headphone listening of how this sounds. And my match made in heaven with this unit is the raw MDA1 with the Darkvoice with the Verites. And obviously I've tube rolled over the last 5-6 years, and I have my Linlite tubes. I've got my tubes. I got an RCA tube in there, vintage and new old stock, and it is, the harmonics in are just so rich and so good. So it's hard to compete, and certainly maybe you could do that with the TA66, but when I listen to this and the Darkvoice, I just want to sit back, relax, and enjoy the music. And 3-dimensional, sounds good. All I gotta say is go over to APOS, try to buy one if you can. I'm sure they may have certified deals on there. If I see one, I will post a certified deal off of APOS. Thanks to the Thrift Shop. Thanks for stopping in. And please don't forget to hit the like, subscribe. Every one of you helps me grow, and I appreciate it. Peace.